Good morning, everyone. I want to talk about some of the astrology charts I'm doing today. Quite a few of you have requested again, and I'm actually getting caught up. So next week, maybe I'll be able to ask for a couple more, some of you new ones. In the meantime, I want to talk about exactly what I'm doing here, because I am not an astrologer. What I'm doing with your natal charts is 100% based on alchemy, not astrology, if that makes sense. As far as day-to-day astrology, this is general. This makes up, I can look at your natal charts and tell about what kind of situation you were born in life and what you can expect. And I can look at your Saturn returns and see how you're doing there. It's a comparison against your natal chart to see the growth that you've achieved, because Saturn is the great teacher. As far as how this works, I want to explain to you what I'm doing. In the middle here, you'll see positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, or masculine, feminine. That denotes which these signs are, and they run opposite. For electricity to work, you have to have a positive and a negative. You have to have both. Also, the signs are cardinal, mutable, and fixed, and they run in that order: cardinal, mutable, fixed, cardinal, mutable, fixed. And then, of course, whether they're earth, fire, water, or air. And that's all alchemy to me. I didn't learn astrology. I learned alchemy, and I just happened to find that the real astrology, especially your natal charts, are 100% based on alchemy. To me, Western astrology is crap. Mundane astrology, which they consider general, worldly, day-to-day astrology, is all bad. There's no good news there. None. You ever notice that about astrology? A lot of it is just bad. It's warning. Where's the good news? Where's this? Where's that? I don't do any of that. Money. You've asked me about money in your life. Mercury rules commerce, but Juno in astrology rules money. Juno is an asteroid. It's not part of the original. It was brought in later, so I don't use it. Mercury is a trickster. Anytime I've ever seen Mercury give somebody money, there's a trick behind it, and it ends up costing you more than had you just stuck with the original let's work hard plan. I call it the get rich quick scheme, right? You're talking about gambling there. Money is a tool. Money is not evil, but the love of money is. I don't seek money. I store my treasures in heaven. And that's where, but I understand we all have to have money to get by. And, but as far as day-to-day astrology, if I'm going to recommend somebody, and I don't take this lightly, that's not what I want to recommend. I want to recommend Sam Geppy, a teacher. That was Stargate SG1. I had paused on another channel, by the way. He actually has a school that you can join. A couple of them do here. This guy over here, Ryan Kurzak, I watch his channel as well. But I find these two are good Vedic astrology teachers. Myself, I don't know any of this material. I'm 100% doing mine based on alchemy. Based on whether you were born in a water sign, whether it's feminine or masculine, whether it's mutable, fixed, or cardinal, and how the planets react in these signs. Because the planets themselves rule particular houses. Like they're going to tell you Uranus rules Aquarius. I'm sorry, in the alchemy books that I have, Uranus was not even discovered. So, to me, that's updated, new, added. The adversary adds a verse. So, to me, this is root astrology. Root. To the root of the problem. To the root of the matter. It's like the heart of it. When, like you're running water signs. Water signs are going to connect. They're going to make water, water, water. Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. And they make this, what looks like a radiation sign, right? That beware. All of them do it. There are 4 of them. Water, earth, fire, and air. And this is what I'm basing these charts on, and it's not hard to read. The old dragon is considered the north node and the south node of the moon in Vedic astrology. I don't do that either. I clearly just look at the moon where it is in your chart, and it can tell you, because at the same time, these charts have 3 decans. What does that mean? They have one coming in as the sun moves around. It comes into Pisces. It's in the middle of Pisces, and then it's leaving Pisces. There are 3 decans. They're named after the mansions of the moon. You can find the names of those decans in the Picatrix. I've offered several books to you people that I found very helpful. Kabbalistic astrology, Masonic astrology, and the Picatrix that you can look through. And this all comes from ancient, old material. So when I don't use, I'll mention Neptune and Uranus in your charts as far as we use them for Pluto and Uranus are your conscious and your subconscious. Now, I show Vedic astrology that has done years of work that can prove their theories. When you start doing all these charts and you realize it's saying the same thing, you start seeing the pattern, then you can say yes. But as far as Uranus ruling a house, no. Pluto ruling a house, no. They rule the conscious and the subconscious. Change in your life. But they don't have a house. As they roll through houses, they change people, places, and things that were born in those houses or that came into existence under those stars. Neptune, if I have to put a category on it, it's kind of what's in your future. But that's still iffy because it doesn't mean your immediate future. It means further it down the road in your life, or maybe even a next life as to what you can expect. Of course, they want to apply water to Neptune. Neptune comes from a word that we get nepotism from. It has to do with family and family favors. A lot of what information that I get out of the old has to do with the language, because built into a word is its meaning. Built into your names, you can start tearing it apart letter by letter, because what's written, this is all written in the heavens, and it's a language, and you can apply it to yourself, to an event. You can do a birth chart on anything that comes into being. You can do a birth chart on an idea you have. And you write down the date and the time you had this idea. Go do a chart on it and see what it looks like. Whether it's going to grow, whether it's going to have problems. And what I'm doing is looking through the alchemy. I would never incorporate Juno into a chart that I'm doing for money. You'll need to seek a day-to-day astrologer for that. Again, Sam Geppy. Let's go to this guy's channel. Ryan Kurzak.
Welcome to this introductory.
They do courses. They can teach you. And then there's just you want to pay an astrologer to really do a chart for you. Let's look at
Hey, it's Sam. Subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Let's look at Joni Patty's channel. She is probably one of the most premier Vedic astrologers in the world. And she has, I'm sure she's got her own website. And of course you can see book a reading over here with her. And you can ask her those specific questions. When's this going to happen? Or when can I expect that? Or where's love in my life or money? Like, what I can tell you about love is I can tell you where your heart is in it. Wherever your Venus is in your heart, that's your heart's desire. If you're female, you want to look at where your mate is. You can look at Mars, and vice versa. If you're male, you're going to look and see where the female in your life is. Where is Venus in your chart? And then there's Mercury, that old trickster. I listened to an astrologer once that was saying that he had noticed a pattern that when you say, like, you're in your birth chart, you have Mercury in Capricorn. Well, exactly opposite Capricorn on the chart would be Cancer, which is a water sign. It's a cardinal water sign at that. And in that position, Mercury over here in your birth sign would take on the characteristics of water. You will meet the person that you will marry, or the love of your life. You don't necessarily marry them because we make mistakes. We don't always do what we should do or follow our charts, but the love of your life, you will meet them in a place that would have attributes of Cancer. Water, feminine, cardinal, anything to do with water, the ocean, the sky, the beach, the sun, all of that, all of this summery time effect. Maybe even during the time when Cancer is in the sun or the moon. Most people want to leave out the moon. To me, the sun is how people, you see you. It's who you are. Your sun astrology, I've told you, it's not that old. But moon astrology is how others see you. You know how we can't see ourselves. We look into a mirror, but you still can't really see yourself. You'll never see the back of your head unless you've got a couple of mirrors you can balance. But it's how others see us. So if you have questions about money, particular love, a day-to-day astrology charts, here's 2 things I can advise you on. You take your natal chart and you lay it out into a wheel like this. And then you put today's chart, wherever the stars are today, right over the top of it. And you'll see what's in the cards for you. Your intuition will tell you. Once you start playing with your natal chart on a day-to-day basis, you will start to see the patterns in your own life. That homework I cannot do for you, and another astrologer cannot do for you. Unless you have a paid astrologer in your pocket that's just going to do a chart for you every single day. This is your homework. This is your cross, your burden. Jesus said, pick up your cross and follow me. And that's what you need to do. You pick up your chart and you follow him through the signs as the Son of God, if that makes any sense at all. But that's the difference between what I'm doing and what other astrologers are doing. Me, I'm breaking the Bibble Babble. Astrology is just part of it. A big part of it, because that's what the Bible is. It's an astrology book. And we are so compelled by that book. All these religions of Abraham. And what people fail to realize, Abraham was an astrologer in the Chaldeans. And any rabbi will admit that fact, and there are verses in the different religious texts that you know this to be true. They'll admit it openly in some religions that Abraham and his father were lifelong astrologers. That's what they did. I mean, let's face it, his family came out of the age of air, out of Gemini here, before they went into Egypt, Earth. So he's an astrologer. This is what goes on in air signs. The biggest thing between Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra is, in history, Libra and Gemini were all about astrology. That's what they did. During the age of Earth, they mapped the Earth. During the age of water, they circumnavigate the Earth. During the age of air, which we're coming into now, it's air power. And the first thing you got to do is map the stars. And NASA might be fake. Going to the moon might be fake. All that might be fake. But you can take out your telescope and you can back up 99% of what they're teaching us about the stars. Astronomy, not astrology, astronomy. I learned astronomy and the names of the stars when I was little. But when I come to understand what the name of those stars meant, and digging it out of older names for those stars, and then the names of the signs themselves. Capricorn is from Capri. It means the Most High. Capricorn is God in every religion because he's a goat, and the T and the D are interchangeable. So to be a goat is to be a god. Sagittarius, built into the name. A lot of people here very charitable, humanitarian sign. The Tarius is the earth, Terra, and it's the sage of earth. Terra, earth. Sage of Terra. Of course, this one's all messed up. And these two, Scorpio and Libra, they have done everything they can to stop the information from these two ages. Why? Because they mirror the ages we're in right now. Scorpio, Pisces, Aquarius, Libra. See that? And the only things separating them are the earth and fire here. Because if you know Libra, you're going to know what happened in the age of Libra, you know what's going to happen in Aquarius. If you know what happened in the age of Scorpio, you would better understand this age of water. They are opposite each other on the same side of the wheel at this time. Of course, this wheel splits like this. This is what they call Western chart, because they have Capricorn and Sagittarius right up here at the top, when it's not. The top is right here right now. But if you really want to get specific about it and turn this baby the way it goes, the top is right over here between Pisces and Aquarius. Move that to the top, right? It went, and then it's turning this way. Jesus, which is Aquarius, said, "If I be lifted up, I will draw all men unto me." So we really do need to turn our charts. They turned everything upside down for us. It's all backwards, upside down, screwed up. The sun rolls this way through the sky, but our clocks roll this way. Everything, they switch everything around so that you don't find the patterns, so that you can't see the truth. So what I'm doing, It's alchemical astrology, and I don't know anybody else that's doing it. I don't know who I can send you to confirm my work, either, except for when I'm doing your charts, you're telling me that the information I'm giving you is correct. Spot on, dead on. I've yet to do one that somebody got in my face and said, this is not me at all. I take that back. I've done one. I've done one for somebody who's Punjabi. Okay, they're Sikh. They're Sikh religion, and they don't really believe in this. So I done their chart, and they didn't like what I had to say. Very young person, by the way, but I just laughed at them. Number one, they didn't finish the video I made for them. They cut it off because I said something that offended their religion. They're closed-minded. They couldn't hear what I had to say. I told them that was okay, but they're still young to give it time to keep that video, and years later go back and watch it again, and then tell me I'm wrong. I prefer to work with older people because you've already been through a Saturn return. If you're at least in your mid-20s, you've gone through one, so I have something that I can look at and compare where you've been and where you're going. Where Saturn ends up back in your chart again, I have found pattern after pattern for. Jupiter as well. You have, I call them my three suns, Saturn, Jupiter, and the Sun. And they all have their place in the charts. They're all the big boys on the block, I call it. And the moon, too. The moon is very important. If I don't have that birth time, I don't know exactly where to put the moon. And it's in a 12-hour variable one way or the other. And the moon can move through a sign in 2 days. So you need to know the birth time to know exactly, because your moon's going to end up in a house, and then it's going to end up in one of those deacons. And the deacons in the house break down just like the rest of the chart does. Cardinal, mutable, fixed, right? And that's how they work. You've always got the cardinal in the middle and a fixed and a mutable on either side. So in a sign, when you're looking at the deacons, the cardinal's in the middle. The mutable coming in, cardinal in the middle, fixed going out. Mutable, yeah, I did that backwards. Fixed coming in. Nope, I did it right because it goes this way. Mutable coming in, cardinal in the middle, fixed going out. You got a problem coming in, you see the cardinal in the middle, he fixes it going out. Does that make sense? Okay. Any questions you got, feel free to ask. Some of these questions, there's several of you asking me about the same thing, so I'm trying to answer it in a general, typical way. For specifics, I will go back to some of you. Look up. You can use Stellarium to look up Juno in your chart. They do the asteroids. All you got to do is type it in. But I'm not an authority on that. I'm not an expert. I'm not even a beginner on that level of astrology. I'm just beginning to understand astrology because of alchemy and the languages. So again, one more time, Joni, Patty, book a read. Any of these guys you can book a reading with. I recommend, as far as schooling, she's extremely professional.
Hey, it's
Sam lately has been, he gets emotionally involved, right? Because he'll do charts of what's going on in the world, and he becomes emotionally involved, but still a good teacher. And then Ryan over here, I've been watching him for about a year now, and that's what I do. I watch these people's, and I find the patterns and what they're sharing and what they have to teach and what they have to offer. We all have a piece of the puzzle. Your chart is your cross, is your puzzle board. I can't put it together for you. These guys can't. You must learn it. You must know it. You must know what it feels like to have Saturn in water, in a water sign. You need to know what it's like to have the moon in a fire sign. These attributes, they're parts of personality. They're parts of destinies, your destinies. Where you come from, where you're at, and where you're going. And again, that's the same thing here. It's mutable, where you come from. Cardinal, where you're at. Fixed, where you're going. And just boom, 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 around and around and around through the different elements. And it's going to happen over and over again. It happens in water, then it'll happen in fire, then it'll happen in earth, and then it'll happen in air, and then the water will start over. And different planets take a different amount of time to go around the sun. Mercury does it in 88 days. He is hauling ass. And at the same time, he can go into a retrograde and take up most of that 88 days. He's in retrograde. But think about it. Think about what I'm telling you. Each of you need to get your own little... I'm showing you in Stellarium. Basically, I just want to set you free from the lies that you've been told about the Bible, to prove to you the Bible's telling you astrology is real, to pick up your natal cross, your birth chart, and follow the sun in Aquarius. He's the one that was teaching all of this air sign. This is who Jesus is. He's Thalum, he's Aquarius, he's the water bearer. But that's not water he's pouring out, and that symbol's not water. That's an old Native American symbol. You'll find it in every culture. In their oldest traditions, you'll find these symbols. Okay, remember all of this. Remember it. Look at it every day. What am I? I'm Cardinal Earth. I'm feminine. I've got Saturn over here in Cardinal Earth. I've got Mars in Cardinal Earth. I've got a lot going on in all of mine are right here in these signs. I have Mercury in Sagittarius, the Sun, Saturn, and Mars all in Capricorn. I have Venus in the Moon in Aquarius, and I have Jupiter in its own house of Pisces. So from here to here, everything in the heavens is up here for me, except for over here in Leo. And I was born in the day, but at night in Leo, Uranus and Pluto is in the fixed fire sign, masculine, of Leo. Otherwise, everything on my chart's just right here, all bunched up together. I don't have anything in Scorpio or Libra or Virgo or Cancer or Gemini or Taurus or Aries. None of these signs affect me. Everything I got going on is right here. What about you? Look at your chart in different ways. Take it out and lay it down. Put it on a wheel. Put it in Stellarium. Put it in everywhere you can to start seeing these patterns, these motions, and these movements. Look at today's chart. Don't depend on other astrologers. You're clicking onto YouTube, and So-So's got an astrology for today. Oh my God. There are 7 billion people on this planet. Whose chart is he looking at to tell you this information? It blows my mind. I mean, you know what? A fraction, a 1 out of 365 person could relate to those charts. It don't even make sense. It's not even calculable. We can't get computers to calculate something like that. So these generic astrology, I call it, you're better off sticking with mundane astrology. What is mundane astrology? Hold on. Let's go to, let me see if I can get this right. Am I right about that? No. Where's my other astrologer? I thought it was MG. Is it just MG44? No. Let me pause this and see if I can. Okay, this is MG 1944. He is a mundane astrologer. He'll tell you this is generic for the whole planet, right? Not one person, not if you were born here or there, but what's going on everywhere. And I like him because he helps you to channel these energies, right? We got Mars in a bad house today, people, and it's throwing down some serious shit. So we need to channel that energy. Now, we can do the Mars thing and go off and have war, or we can do the Mars thing in another way, and he helps explain that, how to channel these energies so they're not destructive, because energy's energy. It can create or it can destroy. Same thing in your charts. These energies, the positive energy, the masculine energy destroys. The negative energy creates. That sounds backwards, don't it? Everything they've done does. But that's the way it works. Masculine energy destroys, feminine energy creates. And so the mundane astrologer, MG 1944, I've been watching him for a while. He's an older fella. He's very talented on what he does. But I have to say, it's all bad news. The only good news in it is we've got all these malefic planets up there, and he's telling you how to channel the energies in a positive way. So, thumbs up for him, kudos, I recommend him on learning how to channel these energies. So, yeah, I just said it. We've got all these malefic planets up there. That's right. Even the Bible says it. The Bible says, we fight not against flesh and blood, but against powers and principalities in high places. So, another way to transmute that energy, commit that random act of kindness every single day. And it's going to help you transmute these negative energies in your life. Instant karma. That's what I'm trying to teach. And if my channel's helped you, please help me keep coming to you with your likes, your shares, your links, contributions, and your donations. They are needed. Thank you.